Hello, everybody. Welcome to Is This a Ghost? I'm Clayton Smith, and every week I tell a real ghost story from real history to my real friend, Patrick Dean, who doesn't take it real seriously, but who this week is in real trouble. I hear there's bad weather where you are in St. Louis.
It's starting to clear up a little bit, but today's been a bit dicey.
Would you like to describe to the listening public the video that you sent me earlier today?
Oh, the fire truck
That was
one.
the most harrowing thing I've ever seen.
I don't know. I don't know if it got obviously it's all over the news here. Sometimes the national news when they're reporting on weather, they'll pick up like wild videos. But yeah, it's a full size fire truck. With the racks and the hoses and everything, going through this neighborhood and just losing control and just fucking flat spinning, going down this hill until eventually it just starts obliterating cars and wrecks into a house.
That car at the end is just gone.
But my favorite part is the first one who's videotaping it. It's going through her front yard. So imagine this fire truck that's whipping around like 15 feet from you, and you're thinking to yourself, I hope that's as far as he goes.
This one way or the other, this is definitely getting on TikTok. I've never seen anything like it. So you've got an ice storm. Take away.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was pretty. Yeah, Amy had a doctor's appointment this morning, and she was debating they iced or they assaulted our street, and it looks like the street next to ours.
They're really, I don't know. We chose the expert level, and they really
kind of a fight fire with fire thing we're going for here, guys. Plus, it's a lot cheaper just to spray more ice on the street. And then she was like, well, let me go on Facebook, and I'll see if anybody else has been out on the road and see what their experiences were. And all of a sudden I see her scrolling through Facebook, and all of a sudden I hear the cell phone camera audio of someone going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Crunch.
And then I said, oh, is that from the roads? And she goes, I'm canceling my appointment right now.
Well, here in Chicago, it's the warmest day we've had in 2 weeks. It's like 36 today, and our ice started melting today. It was great. So we gotta move north. Move north if you want that nice balmy weather.
Mm-hmm.
The beach weather is up here now. We get it now. It's ours now.
What about you? What's going on? What's going on with you besides the luxurious 36-degree weather?
Well, I thank you for asking. I went back to work today. So
really,
today was my January 2nd. It's January 22nd. Yep, that checks out. So I went to work. I'll tell you this: my kids were home almost the entirety of my break because of their own breaks, and then because of traveling, and then because of illness, and then because of school closings from our cold weather. So today I like to think of it as my first day on break. I went to work and I sat in my office. It was so quiet. It was really nice. And then I went to the classroom and the students were there, and they were so quiet. And usually I don't like that, but today it was so good. And I was just like, you all just sit there. I'll just talk. It's really good.
I'm gonna give you full participation points if you don't participate. That's what I want from you right now.
First one of you opens your mouth, you're out in the hallway. And that was my day. So it was great. It was great. Thank you. So it was, but yeah, it's always, as we've discussed, it's a little tough to get going back to work right after the holidays. So you got to really ramp into
right
it.
after the holidays plus a month.
Yeah. So that was my day. And then, of course, like everyone else, I have to go back Thursday. So
right. Sure. Yeah.
I won't.
Right
That's
back
in
at
3
it.
days. Yeah.
No rest. No rest for the wicked. Right.
No, barely any rest.
I forget about that. That old adage right there. Yeah. Barely any rest for the wicked. 2 days at the most.
Tuesday. Yeah. 2.5 days. If you're counting. But it's if you're really wicked, that's barely anything.
You shrug it off, really.
Yeah. So thank you for asking. So I'm pretty tired. I've been awake since 4:15 a.m. because Ivy woke up, went back to bed immediately, and then I was just up.
Sure.
So I'm exhausted and drinking tea. So I think it's going to be a pretty fun episode.
I'm already having a good time.
What is this bag hanging behind you?
What? That's some sort of like a swing that the kids can play in, and they get themselves dizzy and fall out of it and concuss themselves in the concrete.
That's a concrete floor down there, right?
It very much is. The kids remind me it's very concrete.
And that's why all the blood is there. And final question, what's on your sweatshirt today?
Today is the Oz Man, the Wizard of Oz.
Huh.
Ozzy Osbourne.
What year was that picture taken?
Yeah, sometime back in the 80s. He got picked up for drunk and disorderly in Memphis. And he was wearing a Blues jersey for some reason.
St. Louis Blues?
St. Louis Blues, yeah.
Huh.
It's like this iconic photo, but the place where the kids got me the sweatshirt from didn't have the license to sell Blues merchandise, so they had to cut the Blues logo off of it. So that makes it a real deep dig, like a real deep one.
Huh. All right, I like it. I like it.
I'm glad you do. So I was playing Legos with the girls the other night, right? And and Gloria goes, "Why do we have a Godfather Clayton Lego?" And I said,
"Oh boy."
What? I said, "What do you mean we have a God?" She goes, "We do." I said, "No, we don't. I don't. He doesn't like come in a set or something." And she's like, "No, he's right over here." So she hands him to me.
God.
And let me get out of the way a little bit.
It's me. You do. Hi, little guy. Oh my God.
I don't have any idea what set he came from, but
I need to call my lawyer.
You really should.
That is infringement of the face.
Yeah.
Wow. Man.
Yeah, there looks like one of those kind of like foppish guys at an expensive hairstylist, or maybe like a lost property brother or something. But that's all I can really think of.
The number of times I've been told that I may be a lost property brother is quite high. Now, I've never seen Property Brothers, so I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. And I think I'd like to not know. I'd like to continue not knowing, probably. But, well, that's great.
If you ever find that set, you should probably buy a couple of them. That'd be something fun just to...
Sure. Set them up at tables where I'm selling my books. This is me. You could take the author home with you.
How many other authors have an action figure at their booth?
A lot. I don't know, lots, I think.
That's compatible with the Duplo set. Like, you can have your own action figure, but this is fucking...
Yeah. It's me and a rabbit. We're the only ones. Big red rabbit. Doing you another tea baby tonight?
I am another tea baby tonight. I had did I drink some booze at some point? On Friday, I had a beer. I had a Heineken on Friday.
Wow.
Oh man, it was so fucking good. Oh.
No one has ever said that about a Heineken before.
Oh.
Have you been off the sauce for a while? Because no one has ever said that about a Heineken.
I have been off the sauce. So Heineken was when I went to Germany in high school for like 3 weeks. That was what we drank. We drank Heineken. I don't know why. That was just that was like a big fad over there at the time. And I drank so much Heineken. And that's just what it still reminds me of, that it just brings me back instantly to being like 17 and like drunk and being yelled at by a German policeman who like halfway through the yelling realizes this dipshit doesn't speak German. I don't know what's going on.
Why is he laughing at me so much? I don't like this. When I was in high school, I went to London, and the tour guide, we helped all the other people bring their suitcases up the stairs in the place we stayed. There was no elevator because they haven't made those in London yet. And so we had to carry all these bags up like 10 flights of stairs. And so to reward those 16, 17-year-old young men on the trip, the tour guide, this guy named Sean, with a cool little mini mohawk, told my teacher, he's like, "I'm gonna take the boys out for a soda." And she's like, "Oh, that's nice. That's a nice gesture." He's like, "Yeah,
like an English soda."
They've earned it. He's this Irish guy. He's like, "Oh, they've earned it for sure. I'm gonna take them out for a soda." And so he takes us out, and we did not go to get a soda. He took us to a little convenience store, and he bought us these giant. It was like the big cans of Strongbow cider. And he's like, one for each of you. I'm like, wait, I don't think we're supposed to drink this. He's like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. And so he paid for it, and he took us outside, and he's like, just sit on the curb, pop them open. I was like, all right, can you do that? Is this okay? And I had never had any alcohol before at this point. And he's like, sure, it's fine. And we just sat on this curb, getting, pretty soused on a 16-ounce can of cider in the street. In the gutter.
Didn't even take you into a bar. That's my favorite part of it. He's like, I'm not gonna chance these boys in a bar. Nah, we'll drink in the gutter like scum.
We'll drink from a 7-Eleven, just like my pa brought me. That's my first drink was from a 7-Eleven. Yours will be too, boys. So we all have stories like that, Pat. Is the point. You're not special, is what I'm.
Do they still call it 7-Eleven over there, or do they call it 11-7?
I don't know. It was 11.7. Well, should we get into it? Do you want to hear a ghost story?
I'm ready, man. See Jeremy filter that out.
Good luck, Jeremy. Hey, by the way, he said last week's episode, you sounded the clearest you've ever sounded. The Washington episode.
Wow. So the one episode when I'm not like blind drunk, and he's like, "Wow, you know what? Your speech was really clear. It was strange."
Huh.
I was just remembering now to mute my other channels. So sorry about that, Jeremy. You can turn that filter off now.
Caught lightning in a bottle last week, Jeremy, but it's gone now. Oh boy. All right. Well, today, Patrick, I'd like to take you to a neighborhood in London, England, where there's a nice little convenience store where several underage Americans are getting soused on Strongbow. A little neighborhood in London called Battersea.
Battersea. Okay.
Yeah, like a sea that batters sailors. Battersea, but one word.
Mm-hmm.
One January morning in 1956, a 15-year-old girl named Shirley Hitchings went into her bedroom and found an ornate silver key lying on her pillow.
Oh, a little creepy.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah,
sure.
It was confusing to her because it was not her key, and she had never seen it before. And she thought, "How did that get there?"
Mm-hmm.
Now, Shirley lived with her mother, whose name was Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Her father, Wally.
Kitty Hitchings?
Kitty, no, that would be great. Kitty Hitchings.
Kitty Hitchings, sorry.
Yeah, you gotta hitch that kitty.
Kitty Hitchings?
Is what her dad liked to say. And that's how Shirley was born. Kitty, her father, Wally, her grandmother, Ethel, and her uncle, whose name was John. No.
It's a lie, by the way. I'm calling bullshit on that.
Well, it may be. He was adopted. And I guess maybe when they picked him up, they were like, what's your name? John? Why are you here? You're pretty old. You're 32. Why are you in this orphanage? Anyway, this is part of the family. This is Wally. This is Uncle John. He's much younger, of course. This is Shirley. And then I don't know if this is the mom or the grandma. And so that's a tough hit, I know, but yeah. I can't tell.
Yeah. Say what you will about the wonders of modern technology, but being able to delete this photo from your phone immediately after taking it.
That's one of the top 5.
One of the big ones we've got right now. Like that one and GPS. That's the two that I kind of rely on every day. This is not a photo. This is not a keeper photo right here.
No, this is bad. This is bad. But that's the family, or at least part of the family. Wally, you have thoughts about the?
It's tough. It's a tough looking picture. No, I'm saying.
Hey, listen, tough. Shirley's still alive. She might listen to this podcast. We have a lot of people listening.
Okay.
Hey, she might hear this. You better be nice. So Shirley's not the ghost, if that's what you're.
Oh, okay, yeah, that checks out.
Not to spoil anything, but Wally, the dad, he was an underground driver, so he drove the subway. Kitty was a former office clerk, but she spent most of her time in a wheelchair due to chronic arthritis. That was very serious.
Ouch.
Ethel, the grandma, was, quote, a fiery character known locally as Old Mother Hitchings. And then adopted Uncle John was a surveyor. Gotta have one.
Do you just Google like ghost surveyors England, ghost surveyors?
It's amazing
Canada.
how many surveyors there have been in the world. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, the Ghostbusters 3 is shaping up to be a pretty wild ride here.
Who's gonna survey all this ice? Have you seen the trailer for that, for Frozen Kingdom?
I have, yeah.
Man, it looks good. Okay, so Sheila herself, was about to start art school. Again, she's 15. She was going to start art school, and she worked as a seamstress at Selfridges, which is a big department store, kind of one of the first big department stores. There was a show, I know about Selfridges because I watched a Jeremy Piven show on BBC where he played Mr. Selfridge.
Okay.
And here's what I'll say. I don't want to get us any legal hot water, but Jeremy Piven is a real asshole.
I mean, it's kind of hard to play that much of an asshole on like every single show you ever do and not kind of be an asshole to begin with.
When I was in grad school, I interned for his family's theater up in Evanston, the Piven Theater. And every year, this is when Entourage was on, and it was a big deal. And every year, it's his mom and dad own the theater, and so every year they would have their gala, their big fundraising gala, and he would come and he would do like a silent auction and be a guest of honor and stuff. And so one year I was helping out because I was interning there and I was getting things ready and stuff, and had done a lot of the planning for this event. And I was walking through the restaurant we were having it like hours before it opened, and he was walking through the same room that I was in. It was just the two of us, and we were like passing each other. And I was like, "Oh, should I introduce myself to Jeremy Piven?"
Yeah. And
I said, "Jeremy, hey, how are you?" And he goes, "Huh?" And I said, "Hey, sorry to bug you. My name's Clayton. I work with the theater, and I'm just nice to meet you." He goes, "Okay." And I said, that's all." And he looked at me, and he rolled his eyes, and he walked away. And I thought, someday I'm gonna have a podcast where your name's gonna come up, and I'm gonna tell everyone that you're a real asshole, Jeremy Piven.
I'm gonna trash you to thousands of people.
Thousands, literally thousands. Anyway, so that's where she worked. Anyway, back to the key. So Shirley's got this key. She shows the key to everyone in the house, and they are all, no one knows what this key is. No one has seen it before. And her dad, Wally, he takes the key and he tries it in every lock in the house.
Makes sense.
It fits none of them. No idea where this key came from. And they all think, well, that's weird. That's not normally what keys do. Yeah, go ahead.
So like in my house, what happens when because this occurs like several times a year, not finding a key on the pillow like creepily, but just like finding a key in the house and being like, oh, a key. This has to be important. Right?
Yeah.
Like keys don't just like fall off of a tree. So then you try everything in the entire house. It doesn't fit anything, obviously. And then you put on that ring in the junk drawer in the kitchen with the 700 other keys that you've done this with for the last few years, and you're like, one of these days, I'm gonna find what every single one of these keys does.
You've got the House of Leaves going on in your basement, I think. Somewhere in your basement, you're gonna find one door that's gonna open to this long hallway of doors, and you are gonna have all the keys, my friend.
I'm gonna run upstairs. I'm gonna grab that keychain. I'm gonna come downstairs like a coked up janitor.
So he tries it. So it doesn't fit any lock in the house, but they all just kind of write it off. They don't really know what to do about it. So they're like, well, that's weird, but I don't know. It's certainly not a ghost. So I don't know. But that night, the noises begin.
Somebody wants a key back.
Somebody's like, God damn it, I dropped that key. There were, quote, loud banging, thumps, and incessant pounding that reverberated around the house. Claw-like scratching emanated from inside the furniture.
Ugh.
The lights flashed on and off. It was so loud the neighbors came round to complain.
Not to see if anybody was okay, though.
No. Shut up!
Will you stop fucking clawing on the walls and beating incessantly?
Will you stop being eaten by your sofa? It is 3 a.m. Shirley, who today is in her 80s, now describes it by saying, quote, it was as if the noises came from the bowels of the earth. Much like the noises above your head right now, coming from bowels of your family. It was as if the noises came from the bowels of the earth. It went on until daylight. So the next morning, they have a little family meeting because no one has slept. And they're all like, what is going on?
Like, no one copped to the key last night. I'm sure no one's going to cop to the banging and screeching this morning.
No one's going to admit that they were inside the furniture clawing to get out again. And Shirley notices that the key has disappeared.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, that's one problem solved.
Sure.
That's check that off the list. Now you've got a lot of other problems, but this one is solved.
It was probably that, like, the scary guy from Little Monsters. You know, it's like
Howie
trying
Mandel.
to come back. Yeah. It was Howie Mandel clawing his way out from underneath the furniture, trying to get the key. He's back in the underworld now.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah.
One night thing and done. Except the noises continue every night for weeks.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then it starts happening during the daytime, too.
Okay. I mean, at least you're at work at that time, so.
Yeah, I guess so. Now,
care?
it's also happening at night, too. It's round the clock.
Okay.
So no one is sleeping. No one is getting any peace. But they are, yes, I guess they do get a respite at work, much like I do.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's...
it does resonate. So they call the police. And the police come over, and the police take a look around, but they're like, well, we do hear the noises.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you want us to do about that. We don't know what
Do you want me to arrest the Ottoman or something? I don't know what you want me to do here. You're fucked, though. There's big problems.
I don't know. I don't know what this is. It's a problem for sure. You're fucked. I don't know.
I can always tell whenever you're gonna do an accent because you squint and you pause way too long.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to squeeze it out of the front of your brain.
Shut up. Jeremy cuts that out.
But oh god, Jeremy, please stretch it out.
Add in 10 more minutes of silence there. I don't know how to do like the English common man, It's tough.
Oh, like the David Beckham? You want to be David Beckham?
Boy, I'd love to be David Beckham for lots of
obviously.
reasons. I would love to be David Beckham. That body, you know what I'm saying? Meow. So the police are like, I don't know. So they don't know what to do. So then they do the next most logical thing after the police, which is they have a bunch of surveyors come out to the house. And
when has a surveyor ever solved anything? Like, it's in the name. They surveyed the scene. Didn't solve anything.
Your walls are pretty straight.
Yeah,
I guess.
That's great.
Inside of the house is the same size as the outside, and that's an important measurement to have, I will say.
Those two numbers differ. You really start running into problems.
Yeah.
Here's the corner of your property, and there's the other corner back there.
Now there were already there were stones there already, so you knew that, but in case you wanted confirmation, that's where those are. That'll be 7,000 pounds. So they have surveyors come out to the house, and surveyors are like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Why are we here? So they're grasping at straws. No one knows what to do. The sounds continue every day, every night. And they get worse, they get louder, and now some of the scratching starts to come from inside the headboards of their beds. Which is why I don't believe in headboards. I think just let your arms hang over.
Yeah. I don't need anything like big and wooden and heavy right above my head when I'm sleeping.
No, that's gonna fall right on you for sure. Word spreads, obviously, of all this happening, and there are some local experts, I use that word pretty lightly, who are like, we know what's wrong with your house. And what's wrong with the house is obviously they have a poltergeist.
Oh, okay. All right, well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most sensible thing I've heard so far.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the word poltergeist comes from the German language. Do you know what it means?
Polter means fingers.
I don't think
And Geist means ghost. It's The fingering ghost. That's what poltergeist means.
I think you have to go back to Germany. I don't know. I don't know.
I'll admit I was guessing with the fingering, but I'm pretty sure it is ghost.
My research suggests it means noisy ghost. There could be a misinterpretation. That could be nosy ghost, and that's a nice way of saying fingering ghost.
Exactly. I mean, that's about the nosiest thing you can do with somebody,
especially to a stranger. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed.
Don't worry. I'm just surveying. It's not a big deal.
And what are the police going to do? They don't know.
They're not going to come back here for any more calls.
So I think it's noisy ghost, which is which certainly it fits the bill so far. No, but these experts, they warn the Hitchings family that the sounds are only the beginning, because poltergeist, it turns out, and this may be included in the movie. I don't remember the movie other than the child going through the television.
Right.
But there's like a whole process for poltergeist. They start off with small noises, and then they get bigger noises, and then they escalate. And the next stage after the noises is moving objects.
Yes. I thought that's always what I associate poltergeist with is moving stuff.
Yes. You know? Yeah. I don't know which stage the sucking the children into the TV is, but that's if you've gotten there, it's gone too far.
Yeah.
And you need to burn the house down. And it was either the first or second poltergeist movie where the sister comes out through the body of the medium, like she pokes through the skin, like she's inside the medium and comes out. Has anyone else seen this movie?
I don't know.
Just me, huh? All right. I saw it at a way too young age, and that is seared into my brain. Anyway, according to this is going to be a name that I'm going to pronounce wrong.
Say quick. Just go quick.
Sharon. I'm going to say Sharon, although it's not at all spelled like Sharon.
Okay.
Ciaran. I'm going to say Sharon. O'Keefe.
Ciaran. Sharon. I'd say Sharon.
Yep. Sharon O'Keefe is what it is. So no one send me any emails. Tired of you Brits sending me emails about how I'm pronouncing all your shit wrong. According to Sharon O'Keefe, who is a psychology professor from Bucks New University, quote, the argument from some parapsychology theorists is that it's all about attention. We're seeing effectively a ghost with a tantrum.
Okay. Ghost attention. Not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The ghost who wants attention. So they're basically toddler beings, invisible toddlers, these poltergeists. So the next stage is moving objects, and that's exactly what happens at the Hitchings house. According to Evelyn Hollow, who is a Scottish writer and parapsychologist, quote, we're talking about a clock floating through the air. These are things that happened at the Hitchings house. A clock's floating through the air. We're talking about pots and pans being thrown from a room that nobody was in. Shirley said, quote, they'd float towards you, then speed up, so you'd have to duck. Or they'd hover and then hit the wall. So it's dangerous to live in this house.
Clearly.
But they do keep living there.
It's like a scene from Home Alone.
Yes.
Paint cans flying off the stairs.
Really hot door handles. And it wasn't just... What?
No, I'm
just reminiscent about just loving Home Alone.
I'm replaying all of Home Alone right now in my head, except that Kevin McAllister is a poltergeist. Just how much scarier that movie gets. And like really dark too.
Yeah. He communes somehow with a creepy neighbor from next door.
Yeah.
That checks out. All right.
Pity for the Joe Pesci character now. Anyway, sorry.
So anyway, it's not just family members who are seeing this happen. It's people from around the neighborhood who are stopping in. Multiple witnesses. There's reporters who are kind of stopping by sometimes. There are also bed sheets being ripped off of beds. There are chairs moving all by themselves. The piano played itself from time to time.
That sounds kind of.
It was kind of nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
Yeah. No. Have you ever seen a toddler play a piano? It's not nice.
Yeah.
We were at Stephen Luna's house a few weeks ago in Arizona, and he has two pianos. He has a piano and a keyboard right next to each other. And I have two children. And let me tell you about the music, the beautiful music that they played for hours on end. It's not good, Patrick. So that happened. Let's see. There was a pair of slippers that would walk around all on their own. And one time, one of Shirley's gloves leapt up off the floor and slapped Wally in the face. It's gotta be the most demoralizing.
Yeah.
As time passed, this physical activity got more and more violent. Soon, the poltergeist is trashing rooms completely. It's like picking up furniture and throwing it at the walls. It's like breaking chairs and shit. And the Hitchings family, they're losing their minds. At this point, it's been going on for over a month. They haven't slept like at all. They are constantly ducking pots and pans and bureaus. In March, the story goes wide and starts to attract some really big media attention. So now more reporters are coming to the house to investigate, and they're all witnessing all this stuff too. The
poltergeist has to love this, right?
Oh, I think yes.
Yeah, it's an attention-seeking ghost, and now they're on like Access Hollywood.
Yes, they call it the BBC over there, but yes.
No, I'm sure they have like an Access Hollywood for the BBC.
Oh, for sure.
Access
BBC
Liverpool or something. Yeah,
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, Access Liverpool. I think that is the Hollywood. Famously, it's the Hollywood of the Hollywood of London, Liverpool. Let's see. Reporters and photographers. Yes, I said that. So the family is welcoming them in. They're like, yeah, please do come in and report on this ghost because please find someone to figure out what's going on because we're so tired and we hurt so much.
We've had police, we've had surveyors, we've had plumbers, we've had Girl Scouts. Nobody can get rid of this ghost.
There's no one else. There's no one else to call.
Literally nobody.
So then they think, well, maybe we should try to talk to the poltergeist. And if we can talk to it, maybe we can reason with it.
Couldn't be worse, I guess.
Okay.
I mean,
you ever try to reason with your toddler?
Okay, that's
sometimes makes it worse. Sometimes makes it worse. Now it's hard to have a conversation with someone when you don't know their name, and the ghost wasn't offering up his name very readily, so they decided to call him Donald.
Okay.
Good as name as any.
I don't see why not.
They named him that after Donald Duck because of all the tantrums that he threw.
Okay. Did he know that? I might be a little offended.
Well, let's just say things got worse from there. What would you name a ghost if you had a poltergeist in your house?
It was acting like this? Probably something kind of trying to make it feel better about itself, right?
Okay.
Probably He-Man. I call it He-Man.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that's good.
What about you? Would you a ghost that's terrorizing your family and destroying your furniture?
I think I would take a different approach. I think I would try to convince it that maybe it's not such a big scary ghost. I would call it something demoralizing. I think like Pudding Cup. I think I'd call it Pudding Cup. Come on, Pudding Cup. Okay. If you call it Pudding Cup enough, maybe it's like, maybe I am a pudding cup.
Maybe kills you at the bureau. Who knows?
Yeah, it's a big gamble. So the haunting keeps escalating. Donald now starts setting fires around the house.
I don't think Pudding Cup is liking any of this.
And the family's really they're concerned about this and they're afraid of this.
Fire,
They don't like the fires at all. They're also confused about it because he's starting fires with they're hiding all the fire starting things in the house and he's still somehow starting fires, which is pretty good for a poltergeist. He also starts drawing messages on their walls. And I have a photo for you. These are two photos.
Viva. I see Viva la France.
Viva la France! Ha it is me, Donald!
Is he?
Viva la France!
Is it some sort of like a football grudge I don't know about? Is this what he's?
Well, we'll talk about it. I don't know.
Parlez-vous? Is that what that says?
Parlez-vous?
Parlez-vous?
Parlez-vous? Parlez-vous, François?
Yeah, this is just really This is like beginner French is all this is.
Yeah.
Parlez-vous and vive la France.
Viva la France. So
Mhm.
so he starts writing on the walls, and they don't like that either because they have to clean the walls off.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
It's wallpaper too. Like there's no.
Oh, it's bad.
That's staying on there. Yeah.
That's
You're gonna-
1960s wallpaper.
And another layer on top of that. Choose a new design.
And then your whole house is gonna go up in flames like the Weinkauf Hotel with its 17 layers of wallpaper. Your fireproof house is gone. One night, Donald pulled all the sheets off of Shirley's bed while she was sleeping. So she wakes up screaming, of course. Her family runs in. They pull the sheets off the floor, and they do that. And an invisible hand grabs the other end of the sheets and pulls back.
Oh, okay.
Engage in a tug of war
Mm-hmm.
for the sheets.
Oh,
And as
I
they're
mean, at that point, do you try and like Invisible Man tackle him or something, or what
I
do you
think
do?
so. You know where he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got you now, Donald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would start. Yeah, you gotta start walking around with like powdered sugar in your pocket and a flour, and every time you hear noise, you go, "Fuh!" And then you're gonna get him eventually.
Because you got to figure if old Donald has like superhuman strength, you're kind of fucked anyway. Whether whether you do it, or, you might as well find out now.
Totally.
And if he doesn't have superhuman strength, if he is like a toddler basically, then this is the time. This is the time.
Yeah. No, you know what else you could do? You could. If I don't know the room set up here, but this is gonna.
We'll need to see the layout here before I go too far.
but here's what I would suggest. If there's a window, preferably an open window, somewhere in the room, I wonder if you could, like, as you're pulling, kind of maneuver yourself around so that he then is between you and the window, and you're pulling, and then you let go, and he goes, whoa, 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 and he falls out the window, and then you close the window, and he's gone.
It's the neighbor's problem then.
Yeah. Now you're gonna need new sheets.
Yeah. Well,
that's the downside of this. So I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah.
But
it's so funny if you did that and then you hear like a light knocking on the front door. Like,
okay.
I think we got off on the wrong foot.
Let's see. Bonjour.
So he doesn't do any of these things. That's what I'm hearing.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
Je m'appelle.
Bonjour. Je m'appelle Donald. Bonjour. No, they don't do any of these things because they probably were about to. I assume they were about to. However, while this tug of war was going on, they look over and Shirley goes totally stiff. Her back arches and she rises up several inches off the bed.
Oh.
Quote from Shirley. I remember the sheets coming off and being tossed about the bed. I was floating above the bed. When John pulled me down, I was rigid. My nan, who was Catholic, thought I must be possessed by the devil. I thought I was going mad. I was crying all the time, very traumatized. Now, she spells traumatized with an S, so I don't know if that's...
Traumatized.
Yeah,
Traumatized.
So
must not be as bad.
I don't think so. I think it's traumatized light.
Yeah. Are there other houses in town at this point? I mean, just out of curiosity.
Yes, there are many. Yeah, they have neighbors and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, there's so...
Oh, do you mean like available?
You would think. I mean...
I don't even know if I would need a house. There are overpasses that I would gladly stay in.
There's the yard, really,
Yep.
or the garden, rather. I mean, there's lots of options here.
So many options.
It's
I'll tell you what.
Donald's
There's
house
a whole planet. It's a big planet. Lots of places to go.
We could change our names, or just switch names, or just all become Donald and go somewhere else. Let's just.
What if we confuse the? What if we all become Donald, and then the ghost doesn't know which one is him, and which one is us? So this is bad. All this is being printed up in newspapers, and the story attracts the attention of a man named Harold Chibbett, who goes by the name Chib.
Just Chib.
Chib.
Okay.
Chib.
Guess we
Oi,
don't have any-
Chib.
Yeah. Oi, Chib. Okay, it sounds better that way.
It's
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah. Chib was, quote, a tax inspector by day who conducted paranormal investigations by night.
Just get the surveyors back. This isn't going to help.
This stupid app keeps changing Chib to Chin. It's not Chin, it's Chib. I don't know how many times I have to type it.
Add to dictionary. His name is Chib.
Chib had become obsessed with making contact with the other side ever since he came back from World War I. So he's dealing with some of his own stuff.
Yeah, his own demons.
Yeah, which is great, which is fine, and he's very well connected to the world of supernatural research somehow. His friends included science fiction author Arthur C. Clarke.
Oh, wow!
Who wrote 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Yeah.
He's also friends with legendary ghost hunter Harry Price, who will certainly come up. I think we've talked about Harry Price before, but he'll definitely come up. Yeah, he was friends with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Wow.
And by some accounts was also friends with the famous black magician Aleister Crowley. So he's running in a good circle.
Clearly.
So I don't know how he meets all these people. They're all tax dodgers, and he's
fine. You don't have to pay your taxes, but you do have to say that I am your friend.
You do have to take one picture with me. Doesn't have to be good. You can be looking in this direction, and I can be
terrible picture. A terrible picture. Look at this one. Worse than this, even.
So Chib comes in, and he actually ends up being a really great presence for the family. They really like him. He's very kind. He seems pretty knowledgeable about this stuff. He makes them feel like they're not crazy, which is really important, of course. And he gives them more details on poltergeists. And he lets them know that usually when there's a poltergeist in a house, there's usually a teenage girl at the center of their activity.
Okay. A little hormonal.
Poltergeists. Little horny. So this makes Shirley very uncomfortable.
Obviously, yeah, that is not the conversation you want with the oddball tax inspector that just came into the house. Like, hey, is there a teenage girl here? Oh, I just upstairs. Shirley, come on down. The tax inspector's here. He wants to talk about you.
He said he smelled you from outside. I don't know. Quote from Shirley: "We were scared out of our wits. I thought, this is the end. We're all going to die." So the family decides, since they all decide that Shirley is possessed by a demon, so they're going to exorcise
They all decide
her.
this. Does Shirley decide this?
Gosh, you know what? That didn't come up in the research.
Oh, poor Shirley.
Yep.
Damn democracy. Well, it's 4 votes for, 1 against. So
Shib, you're the tiebreaker here.
Yeah.
No, still in a tie. Donald, what do you think? So
bonjour.
Shirley, je t'aime, Shirley. So the family decides they're going to have an exorcism. They decide to exorcise Shirley.
This has like Salem witch trial like all over it. Like, you know what? The crops are dying. There was that eclipse. I'm very scared. Where is there a woman?
Yeah, you know,
we can string up
when there are claws coming from inside the headboards.
Yeah.
That's a woman around.
Obviously.
Classic woman stuff. So they exercise Shirley. Now they don't exercise the house, right? And
sure, I mean, it doesn't
Donald
fit in the tub, so it's hard to dunk the whole house at once.
Okay, so so you've never done an exorcism?
No, clearly not. Yeah.
So they have a hose. It's very easy.
Okay,
Very easy to do the whole house. You gotta do it in pieces.
I got too scared during the movie to get to this part, so I'm not really sure what happens.
So they take Shirley out of the house. They bring her to the home of a man named Harry Hanks. Harry is a medium who's going to exorcise Shirley. He's actually a part-time medium. His full-time job is that he works with her dad.
Like, I get it. Times are tough, but pick a lane, guys. I really.
Which occult thing do you do in your spare time? Yeah. Hey, by the way, this is big talk from some guy who goes in his basement and talks about ghosts once a week.
Incredulously of ghosts. Thank you very much.
Zutalor! So he's so this guy is also a subway driver, but in his spare time he is a medium. And I have a picture of the exorcism if you would like to see that.
Sure, that sounds useful.
Here it is.
Looks I can tell exactly who's being exercised here. The girl who looks Just so over the entire thing.
She does not look happy to be there.
Oh my
Now,
god.
this person looks overjoyed.
She's
The mom,
yeah.
very interested.
Mm-hmm.
Who were you gonna? This one. This one. You want to go back to this one?
No, I'm just I really feel bad for Shirley. Like if looks could kill, she would put 2 holes in this guy's head right now.
That's correct. And who are these people? Who are all these? Who are all these
I guess
women?
you need what? Do you need 7? Is that the thing? Do you need, or maybe there's 8th off screen?
I don't know. I don't. Maybe that's what you need. And they don't really know either because this was taken at the beginning of the process, but they never actually got to do the exorcism because as they were getting started, the house was raided by the police. The door busts open and the police rush in, and they've been tipped off about black magic and witchcraft happening at the house.
What year is this?
This is 1956. Fun fact. This little incident led to the poltergeist being discussed at the House of Commons. This whole police incident became such a kerfluffle that the local MP brought it up next time they met. The government got together at the House of Commons, and they talked about the Battersea Poltergeist there. Anyway, so the exorcism doesn't happen, and I don't, and I guess they never tried again. I don't think like, well, if it didn't work the first time, it's not going to work any other time. I don't know why, but they didn't try it again.
Yeah, I don't want to have to pay another one of these tickets. I think you guys are just going to have to die now. Sorry.
It's just got to be ripped apart from the inside. I'm so sorry. But Chib has a new idea. We don't need an exorcism because he has a new idea. He wants to communicate with the ghost for real this time. Formally, like for real. We're going to actually communicate with the ghost. So he gets a deck of alphabet cards and he spreads them on the table. He announces to Donald that they are going to that Chib, he's going to move his finger along the cards, starting with A, going all the way to Z, as the alphabet tends to do. And when he hears a tapping sound, he's going to stop and write down that letter. And then he'll start again at A, and he'll go through. And this way, the ghost is going to spell out words for him. This is what they do.
It's a very Ouija board type solution here.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's it's a little Stranger Things Christmas-like situation.
Did they have a Ouija board?
I don't.
Might have been a little faster.
I think if they had a Ouija board, gosh, I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough.
If they had a Ouija board, I don't think they need an exorcism. But I guess if you have a Ouija board, maybe you need more exorcisms. Depending on your view of these things. I was raised in a Catholic household, so the more Ouija boards you have, the more exorcisms you need. You need 7 exorcisms for every 1 Ouija board, is how the math breaks down. But if you get to 10 Ouija boards, then it increases by a factor of 100. You've got to just and that's your whole life now is exorcisms. So it works. They do this and it works, and it takes hours. But through this method, they learn a lot about Donald. He tells them that he is French. And also,
the law.
He also tells them that he is very scared.
Interesting.
Now, here's a quote from Shirley. It didn't make us feel sorry for him. We just told him to go.
I mean, he was French after all.
So Chib starts leaving. So they learn that he's French. They learn that he's scared. He's communicating with them. So Chib wants to keep this momentum going. He starts leaving paper and pen in the family's front room, in the front like parlor room. This is the only room in the house that can be locked completely. Like you can't. There's no other entrance except for one door that locks from the inside or outside.
Okay.
So he puts paper and pen in the front room before he leaves. He locks the door and he takes the only key with him. So there's no way anyone else can get in or out of the room. In the morning, then he comes back to the house, and every morning there would be handwritten notes written by Donald. Some days there would be as many as 60 or 70 notes.
Wow. Is anybody going to like read those, or is it just like, okay, this
would you like to see some?
Oh.
There are thousands of these notes in Chib's files now. But I have some to show you. Here's one. Here's the first one. This is all I have one to show you.
Surely. Come.
Sure. No. Close.
No.
Surely. I come.
Surely I come.
You do come, and stop calling me Shirley. I've seen it happen. Stop calling me Shirley, and stop doing that in this room.
Writing by
this room alone. Yeah, these are notes. 1:15 a.m. on March 22nd. Writing by Donald himself.
Now, my problem with this is Donald does not speak English, and yet he writes
Shirley, I come.
I come.
Yeah.
Yes, that's definitely not French.
That's an astute observation. Now, I will tell you, many are illegible, as you saw. That one was kind of tough. And some are mixtures of English and French. Some are just French.
Okay.
So he knows some English.
All right.
Now, it's not. You'll notice it's not good English.
Yeah, it's pretty bad English.
Surely I come is it's either bad English or very direct English. Some are addressed to Mon Chéri Chibet. So some are directly to Chib himself. And so they're finding all these notes, literally thousands of notes. And one of the articles I read had this line, mysteriously, Donald even circulated Christmas cards. Like, no additional details were given. So it's like a throwaway line at the end of a paragraph about all the notes that he wrote. And also sent Christmas cards.
This year was an exciting one at the Donald household.
How is he affording postage?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So then things get weird. Donald reveals much more about himself. He reveals his true identity to them. He claims...
a mongoose? Is that what it is?
He is a mongoose. He claimed to be Louis Charel, the son of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette.
Oh.
Now, apparently, according to history, if you believe in that sort of thing, and in some states we don't, little Louis, who had been, I guess, the 17th, was thrown into prison during the French Revolution when he was 10 years old. And he died in prison. And that's kind of like, that was just historical knowledge. But it turns out that some people think actually the person who died in prison was a body double, and the actual king to be was smuggled out through secret tunnels and never seen again. So that part's all potentially real history.
Sure.
So now the ghost is telling them that this is him, and that he drowned en route to his exile in England. And I know what you're wondering. What does this child look like? Don't worry, I got you. There you go. There's our little creeper.
Yeah.
There's a little guy.
He's
Baby's first rapier.
It could be a riding baton. It could be
sure.
Yeah.
I think his dad was pretty well known for genteel behaviors and cool stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Like the big sheriff star on his little suit coat.
I like
there.
that. Yep. These are the cheeks of someone who's had a lot of cake. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, this is our little baby boy. Look at those dead eyes. So this is supposedly the ghost. Now, the Hitchings family, they're not really inclined to believe him because his story would change a lot every time he would tell it. But to me, if I were 200 years old and my brain were clear and you could put your hand through it, I think my story I would forget details as well. So I don't hold that against it. But they weren't really sure if he was telling the truth. They probably thought probably not. But in some of the letters he wrote, they contained facts that few would have known, such as the names of Louis XVII's bodyguards. She wrote down, and then at one point during this whole thing, Chib goes to France to kind of see what he can learn about this whole situation, and he goes to some archive in Paris and digs up this really old documentation, and the names were correct. And it's like, no internet. So there were things like that. They're like, I don't know, maybe this is him.
And so this is Chib that does all this research, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So it's Chib.
It's Chib. Hello. He's best friends with Arthur Conan Doyle.
Right. Yeah. And he's the only one that has the key to the parlor, right?
I don't like what you're saying.
Okay. And so
I don't like where this is going.
Again, so he's the only one with the key to the parlor. He's the only one that goes to France to research the things that he confirms from the writings.
I don't know. I mean, people might have gone with him.
And his best friend is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Do you know Arthur Conan Doyle's whole thing? He famously believed in fairies, very much so.
Really?
Yes. He was very much despite the fact that Sherlock Holmes is this very analytical character, he was all in on fairies. And there was this whole big fad of fairy photography around this time where people would fake pictures of children with fairies. And one of his big crusades during time was proving that these were real because he believed them so much. Now they were not real. And that was egg on his face. But he was all in on this sort of thing.
I just love that he apparently after the first few Sherlock Holmes novels got so fed up and bored with the character that he just kept but people kept buying it and his publishers kept giving him money for it and he was like, Jesus, fine. He just kept making the books get more ridiculous and just more over the top, thinking well, is this finally what's going to get people to stop reading these things? And it just made it all the more popular.
Yeah, you fucking idiot. Don't you know how this works?
Yeah.
Well, and then he killed off the character.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then people got so mad he had to bring him back.
Yeah.
He was one of the first main literary characters ever resurrect. So funny. Victim of success must be real tough. Must be real tough, Arthur. God. Anyway, this is about a ghost. And so now the poltergeist starts making demands. He wants Shirley to wear. Yeah.
So this whole time, are they just living with the poltergeist while Chib goes off to France to do some research?
We've got a don't worry, we've got a date coming up. Don't worry. We're going to talk about the timeline here in just a second. It's a while. So while Chib is off shopping in Paris, having the absolute time of his life, the croissant, the poltergeist starts making demands, and they're very uncomfortable demands. He wants Shirley to wear her hair a certain way and to dress in certain clothes. And he says if she doesn't do it, he's going to set fires in the house. And then he would go set fires in the house when she didn't do it. Shirley, quote, one night Dad got burned putting out a fire. Underneath the burn were gouge marks like he'd been clawed.
Oof.
Clawed with things, not he had become Claude.
Yeah. I'm Claude.
I am Claude. Let's see. The ghost also demanded to meet an actor named Jeremy Spenser, who I looked up. I didn't recognize him from anything. I'm sure that we're going to get emails about that too. I don't think he's a big deal.
Was he a teen heartthrob for 15-year-old girls?
Yes,
in
sure
England?
Sure was.
Interesting.
Yep.
I don't know.
Chib really liked those heartthrobs. Interesting. Now your story's changing a little. Theory's changing, huh?
I'm saying, Shirley's probably thinking to herself, well, you know what? If we're all going to be getting something out of this, I think I'm going to get something out. Donald says I need to go get a perm, and
I gotta start showing some more cleavage.
Yeah.
And
Donald really wants to see Frankie Avalon, so we better get him in here too.
Oh, Donald really wants me to lose my virginity to this actor, so I don't know. We don't want to start any more fires. So the ghost, so this is a little suspect. The ghost, he wants Jeremy to come to the house to meet Shirley, specifically, and said that if they didn't get him to come over, he would cause Jeremy Spenser great harm.
Ooh.
No, they didn't do this, of course, because Jeremy Spencer's not going to come to their house to be haunted by a fucking poltergeist. And it could be a coincidence, but worth noting, Jeremy Spenser soon thereafter got into a pretty bad car accident.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's real. To answer your question, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
This is a ghost. Let's see. The poltergeist also liked to torment poor Ethel, the grandmother. This is kind of sad. He would try to push her down the stairs a lot. It's not, it's not very nice.
A lot?
Yeah, a lot. Many times. Here's a quote from the Daily Mail. One night in October 1950, and I want to point out that date, October. Remember, this started in January. Now this is October. One night in October 1956, objects started to float around, and the room filled with whispering. Then came a voice, an Irish woman. Shirley recalls, Nan went to bits because it was her mother's voice.
Ooh.
She spoke back to it and went to her room. She had a stroke a few days later and died shortly afterwards. So the ghost is really going for grandma. That's no good. You hate to see it. And again, this is October. It's almost a full year of them just living in this house.
Yeah.
They're living in this house.
Oh.
Eventually, they decide we should move. But again, this started in 1956. I would like you to guess which year they decided to move out of this house.
I'm going to be very generous and say 1958.
Would you like to choose another decade?
How long has Chip been gone? When is Chip coming back?
Dear friends, Paris, very boring.
Yeah.
Haven't found anything yet.
Still looking.
Don't wait up, Chib. Why does this letter smell like horse? No, so they stayed in the house until 1964. 8 years they lived with this poltergeist. Now, in their defense, I think they knew that moving probably wouldn't solve the problem because they already knew that Donald could follow them outside the house. So over the years, for example, Shirley eventually lost her job at Selfridges because her scissors kept disappearing from her station.
Ooh.
And she eventually got
and
fired.
Killing people.
Flying across the room and lodging them in the eyes of the other women. So, and there's a few other examples of things like hauntings happening outside the house. So Donald he can come and go as he pleases. But the family moves anyway. They move to Latchmere Road, which it's a 15-minute walk from the original house. But of course, Donald follows them. The activity continues. So Shirley is miserable this whole time, of course. Like she's kind of the main target here. Now that grandma's out of the way, she gets all the attention. He ruins her teenage years completely. And it's not until like her 20s when she starts to kind of get somewhat of a normal life. One day, a boyfriend came to the house and tried to goad Donald by saying things like, "Come on, Donald, do your worst." And then Donald dumped a bowl of hot soup on his head. And that relationship did not survive. I know. The family, you can imagine, the family's got to be sitting there thinking, I'm sorry. Soup? That's one and done? That's it?
You've set half this fucking house on fire and you dump a bowl of SpaghettiOs on the boyfriend? That's it?
He looked a little like Jeremy Spenser. One time, Shirley went out with a man who would eventually become her husband. But when they were dating, she went out with him, and she came home to find her mother sitting up waiting for her. And her mom was holding written messages from Donald that told her exactly what Shirley and her date had been up to that night. So the level of haunting has now come back down a little bit. But now it cuts on a different kind of level.
Just walking the door to Shirley. Yes, Mom. Where's your left shoe? How would you? Where's your left shoe? Oh fuck. Okay.
Shirley, let me see your elbow. What? What a weird question. Why? Shirley, let me see your elbow. In this scenario, Shirley really likes to have her elbow sucked. I don't know if you picked up on that or not, but that's the vibe I was going for. Did you like it?
Not
How's
really.
your elbow? All right. Anyway, so this stuff keeps happening, but all this is just become super normal for them because it's been a decade. And they're annoyed, but they just live with it. And a year or two later, Shirley marries this young man. They have a baby, and they move out to West Sussex to their own house. They're living the dream, except that sometimes Donald will come over, and he will leave them messages on the notepad by their telephone. And these messages will tell her what her parents are up to back in London.
Your mother is sucking on your father's elbow as we speak.
Damn it, Mom! I knew that. I knew
Oh.
it. So this is happening. So Donald's a busybody now, and he's really de-escalated things. And then one day he just leaves. He writes a final message at Shirley's house, and the message said that he was leaving, and he did. He left, and he never came back.
Wow.
Quote from Shirley, "My mom went into mourning. She'd got to think of Donald like a son, but Dad and I were delighted."
Oh.
And that was the last time they heard from him, though in the 1980s, a medium approached Shirley when she was out of the craft fair. And the medium told Shirley that she was being followed by, quote, "a little boy in fancy dress, blue satin, and he's got red hair." Does that sound like any creepy child photo that you've recently seen on this podcast?
Is he sporting a riding crop as well, by any chance?
It was a rapier. More recently, at a psychic evening with her daughter, Shirley was given a message from a boy who said he was sorry for all he had done. The original
all is
house,
forgiven.
all is forgiven. It's really this is a happy ending story. The original house at 63 Wycliffe Road was torn down a few years after the Hitchings moved out, and it was never replaced. It is now still just an empty lot. As for Donald, he is right behind you. I assume. Got it. No, the other side.
Oh, yeah.
The other way. There you go. Oh, he's fast. The fast little Dickens. And that's the story of the Battersea Poltergeist. Kind of a nice one.
Yeah, very pleasant.
Started off a little dicey. I don't know what happened to Chib. I don't know if I assume he came back from Paris at some point. He kind of fell out of the story there, didn't he?
We definitely need an epilogue about Chib. Like he's Chib learned French, married a school teacher,
got shanghaied onto a boat, went to China, never was heard from again. That's our story for this week. Is This a Ghost is a production of Smith Show Media. All the notes were taken by me, Clayton Smith. All the funny jokes were from Patrick Dean. Our audio editor is Jeremy Montoya. Our video editor is Jennifer Swanson. And I think we need some sort of closing. I never know how to close the show. We're getting close to 100 episodes. We got to figure out how to have a smooth closing. We need like a closing line. What do you think? Any thoughts? Stay haunted. That's fine. Yeah, we'll just go back and forth till we find one.
Yeah.
No one leaves the basements until we find one.
Stay creepy.
Okay. It's a little more like Svengoolie style. I don't mind that too much, but it's right behind you. I liked that. Did you like that energy?
Good. I did.
Okay.
The energy was good. It was a little too scary for me.
Yeah. Okay. So that's maybe. How about and that was a ghost. Because then we get to answer the question.
But you're just gonna say it every week. And then I'll say no, it wasn't. It was obviously Shirley.
Well then, no, but you can't say that every week because not every week. You're not gonna have a Shirley every week. I can't Google ghost Shirley. I'll only get 50 or so returns. And then what do I do?
Yeah.
You know what we should do? We should crowdsource this. Hey, listeners, this is your job now. If you have a really cool thing for us to say, we want you to share it with us. You can email it to me at isthisaghost@gmail.com. You can put it on our Facebook page or comment on Instagram. You let us know what you think should be the winning line. And if we get enough of them, we'll do a vote. We'll do an old-fashioned vote. And whatever people want us to say, we'll just do it. We don't care. It could be as stupid as you want it to be. So send us your suggestions, and
yeah, literally everything you write, we're gonna read on air.
Yes.
So
yes, we're in the Ron Burgundy. This whatever's on that cue card, it's read. So have fun. And
until then, is this a ghost?
is this a ghost?